Hello everyone, kingbullet here with an interesting video of Subnautica. Now, when I originally recorded this video that we're going to get into, I thought everything was recording perfectly fine until I realized my camera and my mic were not recording. So this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to try to do a voiceover of the main highlights of the video. Usually I would have just left it at what it was, like I did in the one video that I uploaded, but there was a lot of commentary that I did and a lot of things that I want to be able to explain prior or while the video is going on. I don't want to leave it just a completely silent video, especially since some of the stuff that I go to, I did some reading, I did some theorizing, and stuff like that. So hopefully this works out well, and hopefully it turns out better than what I'm thinking it might. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in this upcoming video. Hello everyone, kingbullet here, and welcome back. So in this video I ended up doing the Precursor final base, and as I said in the pre thing, I am doing a voiceover of it, and my hope here is to start getting prepared. I'm not sure if I end up wanting to take my sea moth or if I want to just try to swim there, but and I'm going to cut out more than I had put in originally. I had some serious problems with game crashes in this video, which is probably one of the reasons why I did not have the ability to, or which is why my camera and my mic did not pick it up. It just kept crashing. So I'm going to cut right here, and then I will be back whenever I get to the, well actually I'll just say it here. Because of all of the crashes, I wondered here if I should make a new battery or not, and I eventually decided against it. But because of all the crashes, making it to the final Precursor base was almost impossible. I experienced a game crash while trying to go through the teleporter. I experienced one while I was trying to save after I got into the thermal plant, and then I just crashes like that. I would get there and the game would crash. So what I eventually end up having to do is, and you guys will see this, is I had to cheat, I guess, because of the game crash and the horrible frame rates. I'm unable to actually get there by normal means, and you guys will see what I mean in a second. So as we can see, I'm back at my base, and I was talking about what I was going to be doing, and I pull up the dev console, and this is where I start doing the no-no stuff. The dev command oxygen gives you infinite oxygen, which I show here, and I still feel horrible about this, but there was no other way around it. Because I couldn't physically get myself there. If I wanted to do this, I had to do this. And then no damage is something that's made me invulnerable, where I could not die. And this was only a temporary thing. This was only to get me to the Precursor Base. I tried to get a stalker to bite me to see if it actually worked, and it doesn't. But, you know, this is the one and only time that I've actually used the dev console besides trying to do the biome teleports, which I originally thought did not work, and found, as you guys will later see, that it does, which is interesting. I was just in so much of a bug when I tried to do them that it would not. So I think I think I misspell it originally. Yeah, I'm a fantastic speller. And I even stop and talk and look at it too. But I meant to go back to the Cyclops, but I guess I teleported myself closer to the Precursor Base instead. And here we are. But yeah, I was in such horrible bugs that it jumps the King's Cruiser into an area where it was just all bugs. And whenever I was in the Precursor Base and I tried to jump to Safe Shallows, I was in a bug, so that's why it just kind of reset everything. But we're in the lava zone and I'm not taking damage. It's really, really nice and it's cool looking.
I am what you seek, want to help you.
And my good buddy the Sea Dragon Leviathan finds me. I'm not sure why I got my Sea Glide out. Probably because I thought my no damage still wasn't working exactly. I wasn't sure until about right here when I was being eaten by the Sea Dragon. But I kind of look around. Like I said, my main thought was I wanted to get back to the Cyclops to try to find my way. Then I hit a dead end, and I'm like, okay, well I'll go back the other way. Maybe I have to go around like I did from my one base. I still didn't touch the lava. I felt like if I would touch the lava, it was an instant death. Even if I had no damage on, I wasn't taking that chance. But I start heading back, and you guys can even see the frame rate here is still ridiculous. The rendering rate and everything else is just so slow that it's impossible to tell. Oh look, it's my good buddy the Sea Dragon. I think I tried to scan him. Yeah, I tried to scan him, and then I realized that there was a precursor thing right there, and I have no idea what it is. Don't ask me why I tried to scan him. I don't know myself. I'm just getting eaten all over the place. There's warpers everywhere yelling at me and trying to teleport me. I think that's why I pulled out my Sea Glide here, so I didn't get teleported. I stayed ahead of the warpers. But the final Precursor Base, and it is gigantic. Like, it's obviously not rendered in yet, but it is absolutely huge. And I'm assuming those white crystals that are sticking up, that has to be kyanite. I didn't say that in the actual video, but I'm thinking it has to be. And I am in. I end up, well, I don't go too far, but I realize, oh hey, there's a door. Blue artifact. Yes. If I would have kept going, it probably would have saved me a little bit of time, but I would have been stuck inside. Um, because, well, you guys will see I need another blue artifact here when I get up there. And I take off my little cheat things. Because if there was any danger, if there was any chance that I would die in here, I wanted to make sure that the experience in here was real. I just still showed me getting to this point so you guys knew what I had to do to get here, and I still feel horrible about it right now. That scared me, and I will probably still jump whenever my eyes like stop there and it makes noise. It is so loud, it is unreal. But this place is absolutely huge. It is wonderful. I realized I should have brought my prawn suit because I could farm up some more ion crystals, which I eventually realized that I needed. And then I'm like, oh hey look, is this a purple key? No, blue key. Of course. Um, but then I scan all of these artifacts, and these artifacts are kind of cool, and makes me wonder, or relics, sorry, the alien relics. These relics are really kind of cool because they come up all as, well, you guys will see it, they all come up as alien relics in the PDA, but it's really, really interesting to think about, and I'll get to that whenever I actually go to read the PDA files here. But this place is just gigantic. I'm still in awe about it. That's a Mongolian sword. That is a sword, which is weird. And I saw that data terminal up there. I go and get that after I scan all of these. That still, to me, looks like a ghost off of Destiny, a game from Bungie. Oh, dropping frame rates. Yeah, even still here, it was pretty laggy, but you guys can kind of see it was doable. I was just concerned if I like tried to save or anything like that, I would have a game crash, because that seems to be what happens to me a lot, is I would have a game crash if I tried to save, which kind of sucks, but you know, I did get through this mostly in one go. I had to do a little cheat to go back, make some more, or make another blue key. Here we go. Probably going to read this. Yes. The device records data from the primary research specimen at this facility. According to the logs, an indigenous life form referred to as the Emperor specimen was found to produce a unique substance they referred to as an enzyme 42, which inhibited the symptoms of the infection in other indigenous organisms. The specimen was captured and contained here in addition to the eggs it was found guarding. The alien researchers went to great lengths to provide the life form's environmental needs, including the import of interdependent flora and fauna via on-site warp gate. However, his health quickly began to deteriorate. At the time of bacterial outbreak, the resulting quarantine at all attempts to develop the enzyme into a vaccine had been unsuccessful. Which, Emperor specimen, new fish. I'm not going to give any spoilers just yet, but I'm going to cut here. I had to take a quick bathroom break, and then I'll be back whenever I come back and start going through all of the PDAs again. Alright, so I am back, and here we go. I was looking for the alien relics. I couldn't find them. If I would have just kept going down, I would have realized that it was there. I thought an orange alien artifact was something, but I realized I was just being stupid. Here we go. Here's the alien relics. This alien device appears to be designed to eliminate all organic substances in range by emitting a lethal but contained radioactive field. I don't want to be near that whenever it goes off. This artifact is unpowered, suggesting it serves as ceremonial rather than practical purpose. The pyramid resembles an organic growth, while the stone at the head exhibits a warm blue light. It may represent a plant found on the aliens' homeworld, or even reflect the gravitational pull of their home solar system, which is really cool, you know, saying the aliens weren't from this planet originally. The markings on this device seem to serve no purpose beyond decoration. Maybe the aliens' equivalent of a lamp or a magnifying glass used to examine the other relics in more detail. Interesting. This rock-like material features biomechanical parts that match the components identified in the warpers encountered on Ocean World. Materials such as this may even have been a fundamental building block of the aliens' own self-repairing mechanisms. That's why the warpers never die. They have self-repairing mechanisms. It's annoying. This case contains highly sophisticated nanobots capable of infiltrating a foreign body and deconstructing it from the inside. Not something I want to mess with. This device is some form of communications relay, apparently projecting the presence of the user to a remote location. There do not seem to be any other devices in range. What I assume to be the aliens' form of GPS locations. It's kind of cool to think about. They had a GPS of their own. This device is a rudimentary version of the keys used to access these facilities. It may have been kept here for symbolic purposes or legacy support. I don't have much to say about that. It is unclear why technology of this sophistication has not been found elsewhere on the planet. Its production may have been too restricted or too costly, may have been pillaged from a more ancient civilization, saying there was more to what these precursors were than what it was. The carvings on this are 1,000 years old, made from an unrecognized natural fiber, likely grown on an as yet undiscovered planet. Again, unknown worlds could do something so much more. Despite its simple design, this device contains enough potential energy to destroy the entire planet and most of the solar system. Fortunately, it's malfunctioned. Yeah, that would be kind of nice. I hope it remains malfunctioned. This weapon appears to be millions of years old and matches no previously encountered technologies. To me, this looks like a Halo-style weapon. Like, the far right looks like the hilt of a Forerunner gun, and then the far left of it looks like a Covenant energy sword. It's kind of cool, but I don't know. Obviously, it is not. But really, so much more that they could do, like, outside of this game with this universe. An ancient earth blade dated back to the 13th century Mongolian Empire. Blood samples on the blade match the DNA of 7 separate heads of state from the period. How did they get this sword? Like, were the precursors on Earth and they took the sword? Like, really? But as I go exploring here, well, it was quick. This is really cool. This room blew my mind. They have all these containment things. It blew my mind so much I got stuck. I'm like, oh no. But it was so cool. Just the work that the precursors were doing. Superficial damage to the specimen indicates it was forcibly removed from its egg casing. The fetus appears to be terminated for dissection immediately on removal, cryogenically preserved. Analysis of digestive system enzyme production indicates potential for full vaccination against effects of alien bacterium. However, the fetus had not fully completed gestation. Internal organ development is insufficient for enzyme production. A healthy infant specimen may be able to produce the enzymes necessary for full vaccine against the bacterium. Given the specimen's potential, it is unlikely the alien researchers would have forcibly removed it prior to full development if they had discovered any way to hatch it naturally. Recommended steps, unclear. Now, I know I keep it up a little bit longer. I usually do some talking. You guys know how I am. Or I'm reading it faster. But the precursors, I get stuck again. Ridiculous. Pulled this baby from its egg, hoping to make from this egg here, a Leviathan egg. Oh wait. Shell composition. The shell casing is formed from thick layers of carbon composites, suggesting an extensive gestation period. This Leviathan species may give birth just once per century, perhaps just once in their lifetimes. Shell casing incisions. Precise incisions suggest a laser-based tool was used to cut open the egg casing and forcibly remove the fetus inside prior to full gestation. Time pressure developed bacterial vaccine may have driven the alien researchers to cut open this egg and remove the fetus for study. It is also possible that, removed from its parent and natural habitat, some vital condition for the infant to hatch naturally was not met. Because the coronavirus just went all crazy haywire, the precursors were ripping specimens from their eggs, hoping that drop frame rates, hoping that it was going to be enough to create a cure, which is absolutely insane. I don't know why they thought that ripping stuff from their homes and everything would work, but hey, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. And I'll kind of leave this in, but all four corners all kind of have the same look to them. Each one of them go to a warp gate, which you will see here. I do eventually turn on the warp gates, but I do not go through them. That will be in the next episode. I'm going to explore where each one goes and what I'm missing and everything. Yeah, I think right there I realized I don't bring any food. Oh no, I did bring nutrient blocks, that's right. But it's too soon to use it. But this place is so huge. What was in here? Oh yeah, water sounds scare me every time I'm in a precursor base. It's like an incubation room. I had a crazy time trying to wrap my head around this. They have eggs just everywhere. I can't scan them for some reason, but it's eggs from every creature that's in this game. Like all the obtainable eggs, I guess. Here we go, data terminal time. The device records all available physical data from a single point in time. The last recorded data set was captured just after quarantine was imposed on the facility. The main containment chamber here housed the Sea Emperor Leviathan and its eggs. The parent Leviathan's health had deteriorated. Its eggs appeared to be in good condition, but in some form of natural stasis. The data shows that within the vast specimen containment unit, as the incubation system had been constructed to house the Leviathan eggs, likely the alien researchers had refocused their efforts to develop a vaccine on the unborn infants. The incubation system suggests they had resorted to developing artificial hatching enzymes, which would stimulate the natural hatching environment. When quarantine was imposed, all warp gates and access points to the facility were sealed. While the unborn emperor specimens may have held some potential for the development of that vaccine, it is highly unlikely that parent or children survived having their food supply cut off and being isolated from the rest of the ecosystem. Man, I'm trying to read fast so I don't look stupid, and I just stand there, but it's saying that I don't know if this room was purely to give a look of, oh hey, look, here's some eggs, this is what's helping these eggs hatch, like getting the hatching enzymes. I tried to get into the containment thing for some stupid reason, then realized, oh wait, I can't get out. I'm stupid like that. But I mean, if you think about it, yeah, I did bring nutrient blocks, and I actually eat one here. like there's so much wrong here. Dropped frames. But also, how desperate they were. Yeah, it was wrong for what they were doing at the time, and it was like, if we would do that on Earth, no, bad, don't do that. But they were faced with global extermination, so you can't really fault them for trying to stop a. Every time you hear stuff going on outside, and there's nothing in here, but you can hear it like something's trying to get in. It's crazy. There it is again. It sounds like the sea dragon is trying to bust its way in, almost. Um, but it makes you wonder what the humans would resort to in regards to we're faced with a global extermination from a virus or a bacterial disease or whatever the Qurar actually is. Oh, this is awesome. It doesn't render in. That's the other warp gate over there. This pipe system was crazy. There's obviously a data terminal there, but you can see how intricate it actually all is. Like, obviously where the pipes start and stop or where the walls start and stop, but that's underneath the floor. You know, I originally thought that's just how it was supposed to be, and then I'm like, oh, hey, it rendered. And it's just another warp gate. But how intricate it was. But let me know what you guys think. If if humans were faced with global extinction, well, Earth was faced with global extinction, do you think humans, being the intelligent race, I use that word loosely, do you think that we would go to extreme ends like the precursors did to try and, this place was awesome, try and stop the global extinction? Now, this place was just huge, and this data terminal explains it all. The machinery is pumping water to and from attached pipe network. Oxygen deprived water is being flooded from the system. Analysis of the water composition flowing in indicates it is being drawn from different biomes between here and the surface of the planet. The water temperature is considerably lower than the volcanic environment outside the facility and oxygen rich. So, if you guys remember in one of my previous episodes, I was in the mushroom forest and I saw that little vent thing. That's what this was. It was pulling in water and pushing water out in that area. And I was like, what is this? Is this like releasing thermal energy, or is this just releasing pent up energy in some of the precursor bases? Or I couldn't understand what it was. It was this system. And that means the precursors were so intricate. Yeah, you can scan the pipe. I don't remember what the pipe says. These outflow pipes are transporting peepers out of the facility back towards the surface. All specimens scanned are carrying the enzyme which inhibits bacterial growth and helps the body repair the symptoms of the infection. Stomach cavities are empty. So they're carrying the enzyme. That whatever eats the peeper is getting that enzyme. Alright, these inflow pipes are being used by peepers to access the otherwise isolated facility. Peeper behavior elsewhere on the planet suggests they are not being sucked in by accident, but rather have evolved to actively seek out their correct access points. The specimens scanned have all consumed high quantities of seeds from the surface world. Specimens show differing levels of bacterial symptoms. So, they gather seeds in their stomach, and they've grown to adapt to take seeds, take them down into wherever the pipes go exit at in this facility. They expel the seeds, I guess, or digest the seeds, and those seeds are given like the enzyme or whatever, and then they go back up and they are containing the enzyme in their bodies, and so whatever eats the peeper, they're essentially slowing down the spread of the Quran, which is how the life has survived. And this place is just so intricate. I mean, I try to scan it again, but obviously I think that's the inflow pipe, and I get stuck. I'm like, no, don't crash. Yes. But it's so weird, and I don't know if like these little designs on the walls that I don't acknowledge are like maps of the world or the biomes or something, but it's just crazy to think about because they would have to tunnel through everywhere, and you don't even see where they tunnel through at. Like, is it like all the biomes are spread out and then they all converge on one point and come in, or do they all come in at different points? I would assume they all converge on one point, like it shoots up into the thermal rock and then they shoot them all out. But how did they dig out the ways for the pipelines? You know, it's crazy to think about. The technology is so advanced, and the amount of detail, especially with having that vent that I happened upon by chance. It's just crazy to think how the precursors actually did it, and props to Unknown Worlds for actually getting it done and doing it, because it was so well done. You know, the amount of detail that they put into this is absolutely ridiculous. And here's the last warp gate. Real interesting. But I start realizing I need ion crystals. I need a blue key, and I have the blueprint to make the blue key. So what I'm going to do is that scared me there. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to cut here, because I go and do a little bit of the cheat again after I try to cut up this ion crystal, which I realize will fail every time. It was worth a shot. You know, you can't blame a man for trying. I didn't want to have to leave. But since I had no way in and out of the plant successfully without cheating, I cut here, or I will be cutting here, and then I will be back whenever I have the blue artifact and some of my ion crystals. I bring extras just in case whatever's through that door I need ion crystals. I've seen that before, and I didn't want to, you know, not be prepared. There could be another warp gate through there. I'm not going to spoil it just yet. So I will be back whenever when I am back with everything that I need. So be right back. Right, so I'm back here. I've managed to grab everything that I need. The blue artifact, I got 6 ion crystals, 4 for the warp gates, and every time. But 4 for the warp gates, which I'm going to activate now. And when I was here, I did a quick run through to try to get it all rendered in real quick. That's why you're not going to see any rendering. I didn't want to be standing there waiting for the render again. And I tried to decide if I should go in. I'm like, should I go in now? Like I said, I'm going to do that for the next episode. But yeah, the rendering took too long when I previously went through, so that's why I was standing in a weird position. So it'll be really interesting to see where each one of these warp gates go, because I don't remember this many warp gates. You know, I was only aware of the ones on the islands that are already set up that go back and forth, and then the one that got me from the thermal plant to the quarantine ground air enforcement platform, also known as the really big gun. don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm not even a kilometer away from the thermal plant, which you can still kind of see. I don't know if I look at it to really show you guys, but I'm not even a kilometer away. I mean, they're right there, and if I would look up a little bit, you'd be able to see it. I think you're able to see it whenever I turn around at this warp gate. So that PDA file lied to me. How could they? Yeah, once I turn right here, I think you can see it. Nope, I looked out. Never mind. Yeah, I'm only roughly 536 meters, which is kind of interesting in a way. Like, roughly a kilometer, that's not correct. You're roughly half a kilometer. Get it right. But here we go. A whole nother room. This was really cool and huge. The music stops.
Translating local alien broadcast. Warning, vaccine development program terminated. Emperor egg hatching project terminated. Live specimens terminated. Evacuate immediately.
So they killed the Emperor Leviathan and the eggs because of the quarantine and the projects being terminated. It was just get out while we can. We've done our best. There's a door up there, but I have no idea how to get up to that door. I don't even think it's an actual door, because if you look at it, it looks like it's a wall almost. So I don't know why that's there, but it is. And now it's time to dive into this really, really big moon pool. Here we go. I mean, there's a whole another part of the base down here, and it is huge. You're still creepy. I was so worried I was getting eaten.
To play? The others came but played alone. They bored me. Now they're gone, and instead I have you.
I really wanted to scan her, because she's the one who's been talking to me. She's the voice of the deep. Makes you wonder how she talks and how she knows English. Unless the PDA is automatically translating for me. But look, that was her baby that we saw in the other room. Black Spike. It's so hard to stay above the water in this moon pool for some reason. It's like every single time you go above the water, it's like, nope, go back down. It's really annoying. But she is so huge.
Detecting unusually passive behavioral patterns in nearby predators. Reason unknown. Unlike other alien facilities, scans indicate this location supports a diverse and healthy ecosystem. Explanation unclear at this time. Environment scans indicate the water here is rich with a rare, plankton-like life form which depends on the organic detritus produced by the ecosystem around it.
I find a warp gate. I'm like, warp gate, yay. Whoa. It didn't work out in my favor. In a way, that kind of looks like the Ark symbol. Ark Survival Evolved. Good game if you guys haven't played it. A little bit like this, but with dinosaurs. And not underwater. I'm like, oh, hey, look, ion crystal. I'm gonna scan it first. Yeah, she is just terrifying. I don't know if I read the or the thing for the incubator thing.
My young want to hatch, to play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others had ways of giving passage to the outside. I asked them for this, but they could not hear.
I try to insert hatching enzymes. I don't know what I was doing there, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come say hi. Don't hit me with your weird portion of your tentacle tail. I'm like, no, don't eat me. Oh look, a teleporter. Insert fuel crystal. By the way, complete lucky guess.
You gave me what I asked for. I give you what you seek. My young cannot be forced from their shells. They must be coaxed. This is what the others could not see. I give you this secret willingly. I hope I will not be disappointed again.
Hatching enzyme blueprint. Um, it was a complete total guess with how many ion crystals to bring. Luckiest guess in the world, but a complete guess nonetheless. Here I go, trying to get some air. Breathe. Stay above the water. No, above. Like, I was only gently pushing the joystick up here, and I was like, no, you're gonna get sucked down. I was getting so frustrated. I'm like, ah, finally. And then I got so turned around, I'm like, wait, where am I? I mean, this place is huge, and for as big as it is, you know, that sea dragon, not sea dragon, that Emperor Leviathan, it's small for her. And I decide to go through the warp gate. The only warp gate that I decide to go through. Hey, look, peepers. I didn't even see those the first time. There's fish from everywhere. That was the hoverfish looking dude. I don't remember what it's called. Here we go, and here we are. Only 166 meters below the water. And not only that, this is next to the mountain. That's the ground to air quarantine facility. There was a warp gate sitting right there all this time. Now, I'm pretty sure you can't like do the backwards thing, like I wasn't going to be able to throw an ion crystal in there and just go straight to the containment facility. I don't think that's how that works. But yeah, there's warpers. I'm like, yep, I'm getting out of here. I hear the warper. But that just opens it up. I'm going to be able to use my prawn suit to get back in there. I guess I can take the prawn suit out the warp gate that will take it inside the Precursor Base and then bring it around and put it through there, and that way I can get those ion crystals. Perfect. But then I think I'm also able to take the sea moth through, because it's a whole new ecosystem, meaning the pressure is different. I don't know, that's my thought anyway. But this is the end of the episode. I was going to go and end it in the base, but I didn't want to take any chances of getting any more lag. I let all of this render in because even though I cheated, I do end up wanting to save. It was so cool and so many new things there. I didn't want to take a chance of losing it. You know, I'm near the end of the game at this point, but there's still so much that I could do. You know, hatching enzymes, eye stalk seed, sea crown seed, fungal sample, ghostweed seed, and bulb bush sample. I have no idea where I gotta go. I think that those are each into 5 different ecosystems. Stupid cave crawlers, that even scared me while I wasn't even playing it. Smack. Come here, smack. Yeah, you better run. Float away. Float away like the little loser you are. So, that's all for this episode. Again, I am so sorry guys that I had to cheat to get there, but I hope you guys understand why I had to. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please smack that like button with your warhammers. And as always, share this around with your friends. You guys know what we're going for. We're trying to do good. We're trying to make a difference in the world. You know, so share it around with your friends. Help these King's forces grow. And as always, I will see you guys in the next battle.